Hello friends, from this lecture we will start with our unit number 6, that is communication system. And in this lecture we will cover the first part of our communication system, that is the block diagram of communication system and different modes of transmission for the communication system. Now the learning outcomes. Now after studying this topic, student will be able to understand first what is communication, then the detailed block diagram of the communication system, and which are the different modes of transmissions are used in communication system. Now what is communication? Now communication is nothing but what? The sharing or exchanging the information or ideas or thoughts or etc. Now before going to the communication, let's see the history of the communication. Now the Samuel Morse, one of the scientists who has developed the first electronic communication system in 1837, and Morse used the electromagnetic induction to transmit the information in the form of dots, dashes and space across the length of metallic wire, and he called that invention as a telegraph. Means the telegraph was invented in 1837 by Samuel Morse, and later on the radio communication is began in 1894 when the scientist Marconi transmitted the first wireless signal through the earth atmosphere, and then commercial AM, that is amplitude modulation broadcast, started in 1920, and in 1933 Major Edwin Armstrong invented the FM, that is frequency modulation. And there are basically two types of electronic communication systems, that is analog communication and the digital communication. And in analog communication, the energy is transmitted and received in the analog form, that is continuously varying signal such as the sinusoidal signal. And in digital transmission system, the energy is transmitted and received in the form of, that is in the form of logic, that is one logic or logic 0. Now if you see the picture, then picture shows the communication between two persons by using various communication media. And here if you see the third GIF, then there are basically two persons, that is person number 1 and person number 2, and these two persons are exchanging their information from one place to other place, or they are exchanging their ideas, or they are exchanging their thoughts from one person to other person. This is nothing but what? The communication. As we know, the communication is nothing but what? The exchanging information from one place to other place. But to exchange the information from one place to other place, or from one person to other person, there are some barriers in the communication. Now which are the different communication barriers? Now first communication barrier, that is distance. Now if suppose two persons are in on long distance, then the distance is again the barrier in the communication, because if the distance is long, so it is impossible to transmit the information from one place to other place. So the first electronic communication barrier, that is the distance. Then the second barrier in the communication system, that is the medium or language. Now if suppose two persons are talking in another language or another medium, then that language or that medium, that will be the barrier in the communication system. If suppose one person is talking in language, that is Hindi, and another person is talking in language, that is English, and if suppose the person who is talking in Hindi, he doesn't understand the English language, so for their communication the language is the barrier. And the third barrier in the communication system, that is environment. Now due to environment some noise will be produced, or due to environment issues, exchanging the information from one place to other place, this will be very difficult. So the third barrier in the communication, that is environment. Now let's see the block diagram of the communication system. Now the first block of the communication system, that is input transducer. Now why input transducer? is required in communication system, that is important. But the input to the input transducer is the information or the input signal. Now what is information source or what is the input signal? Now a communication system serve to communicate a message or the information, and this information originates in the form of information source, and this can be various messages in the form of words or group of words or codes or symbols or sound signal, etc. However, out of these messages only the desired message is selected and communicated. Therefore, we can say that the function of information source or the function of the information is to produce the required message which has to be transmitted. So this information or this physical information is first of all is applied to the input transducer, and we cannot transmit in communication system, we cannot transmit this information or this physical quantity directly to the receiver. First of all, we need to convert it into the electrical signal. So to convert it into electrical signal, the input transducer is used. Now as we know, we have covered the transducer part in unit number 5. Now what is transducer? A transducer is a device which converts the one form of energy into the another form of energy, and the message from the information or the means the message from the information source or the information signal or the input signal, it may or may not be electrical in nature. So in case when the message produced by the information source is not in electrical in nature, so the input transducer is used to convert it into time varying electrical signal. Means the output of our input transducer is in the form of electrical form. Now next block means the output of our input transducer is applied to the transmitter. Now the function of the transmitter is to process the electrical signal from different aspects. For example, in radio broadcasting, the electrical signal obtained from the sound signal is processed to restrict its range of audio frequencies up to, that is up to suppose 5 kilohertz, and we need to it amplify. So amplifier is used in the transmitter block to amplify the signal, and in wire telephony no real processing is needed. So however, in long distance radio communication, the signal amplification is necessary before the modulation. Now the modulation is the main function of the transmitter. In modulation, the message signal is superimposed upon the high frequency signal, that is carrier signal. In short, we can say that inside the transmitter, the signal processing such as the restriction of range of audio frequencies, then amplification and modulation of signals are achieved, and all these processings of the message signals are done just to easy the transmission from the transmitter to receiver. Now the output of the transmitter is applied to the communication channel. Now what is communication channel? Now the communication channel is nothing but what? The medium which is used to travel the message from the transmitter to the receiver, and they all provide a physical medium for the transmission of the signal from one point to another point. And the communication channels or communication media are basically divided into two types, that is wired communication media, and second one is the wireless communication media. Now if suppose we are using wire as a medium to transmit the signal from the transmitter to receiver, then the communication channel will be our wired communication media. Similarly, if we are using our free space as a medium for the communication, then that communication media will be our wireless communication media. Now the second part, that is noise. Now noise is nothing but what? The unwanted signal which tends to the interface in the required signal, and noise signal is always random in character, and noise may interfere with the signal at any point in the communication system. However, the noise has the greatest effect on the signal in the channel. So the output of the communication channel is the recovered information in the electrical signal, and this electrical signal is then applied to the receiver. Now what is receiver? Now the receiver is to reproduce the message signal in the electrical form from the distorted received signal, and this reproduction of the original signal is accomplished by a process known as the demodulation or the detection, because in transmitter there is modulation of the signal and in receiver there will be demodulation of the signal. Now what is demodulation? Demodulation is nothing but what? The separation of the message signal from the high frequency signal or the carrier signal. So the demodulation is the reverse process of the modulation which is carried out in the transmitter, and the output of the receiver is applied to the output transducer. Now what is output transducer? Output transducer is the final stage which is used to convert the electrical message signal into its original form. So the output of the output transducer will be information which is in the original form. This is all about the block diagram of the communication system. Now let us move towards the next topic, that is which are the different modes of transmission for the communication system. Now what is modes of transmission? Now modes of transmission defines the direction of signal flow between the two devices, and the electronic communication system have basically two modes of transmission, that is unidirectional, and unidirectional is also called as an simplex system, and the second one is the bidirectional, and bidirectional is also called as an duplex system. And the bidirectional or duplex system is again divided into two types, that is half duplex system, and the second one is the full duplex system. Now this is nothing but what? The classification of the modes of the transmission, and our modes of transmissions are basically divided into two types, that is unidirectional or bidirectional, and bidirectional are again divided into two types, that is half duplex system and the full duplex system. Now the first mode of transmission, that is unidirectional or simplex system. Now here the picture shows the example of the unidirectional or the simplex system. Now here basically two devices are there, that is device A and device B. If you observe, device A is transmitting some information to device B, and device B receiving the information from the device A. So this type of transmission we can call it as an unidirectional, because the exchanging information, there is exchanging information from device A to device B, not from device B to device A. So the device can either send the signal or it can receive in unidirectional system, and the examples of the unidirectional or simplex systems are: the first, the TV broadcasting, then the second, that is remote control of TV, then the third, that is keyboard input to the PC. These are the various examples of the unidirectional systems. Now the second mode of transmission, that is half duplex system, and half duplex system is the bidirectional mode of transmission. Now if you see the picture, here two devices are used, that is device A and device B. Now if you see the communication, device A is transmitting the information, device B is also transmitting the information. So in bidirectional or half duplex system, the transmission is bidirectional, means both the devices, that is device A as well as device B, are transmitting the information. Then both the devices can send or receive the signal, but at a time only one device can either send or receive the signal. That is nothing but what? The half duplex system. Device can send or receive the information at a time. And the best example, that is armature radio or HIM radio. Then the second, that is citizen band radio, and the third, that is web browsing. These are the examples of the half duplex system. And the last type of bidirectional mode of transmission, that is full duplex system. Now if you see the picture, in picture there are basically two devices are used, that is device A and device B, and both the devices are transmitting the information or receiving the information. So the full duplex system is the bidirectional system, then both the device can send or receive the signal. And third point is important, because if you compare your half duplex system, in half duplex system at a time a device can send or receive the information, but in full duplex system the device can send or receive the signal simultaneously. That is the main difference between the half duplex system and the full duplex system. Now the telephone communication is the best example of the communication system, because in telephone communication system both the person, that is the calling person or the receiving person, can send or receive the signal at a time. Then the second example of the full duplex system, that is the data transfer over the Ethernet, and the third, that is the cellular communication. So these are the three examples of the bidirectional or the full duplex system. Thank you.